Or else now, anyway, since I'm actually doing a nice and kind job for myself over here on Love Eye, I'm seeing all these nice and beautiful ideas come to me. So I just receive from the government. Or else now, what I do is I make sure I'm always receiving something from everybody, but making sure that no matter what, that I have more enough time now to show you that ideas are coming to me very quickly upon how to make these events happen. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going through the process and going through the motions of being able to categorize exactly what I need to do today to be able to be successful. So as I be successful, I understand straight away where my money is going, into which account and why. So I understand to link everything into my business account, and that's it. And then somehow, in terms of somehow differently, I make the money in regards to what I need to do. So I understand what I need to do all the time. So I focus upon understanding that I always can transfer everything into my nice and beautiful bank account from any account. So I understand that. So what I do now is I focus upon understanding that I just gave $500 to have a seminar for myself. So that's excellent. Where I can go and create this seminar for myself to go through the process at least. To go through one process of it is amazing to have this kind of experience. So I gave for my 28th birthday seminar. Alright, anyway, that since I'm actually doing that, I want to go with the promotion. I want to go with the promotions of what I'm doing. I have to get to the bank. I have to go to the bank very quickly, and I can go to Liverpool Bank over there, and I can say no matter what, I go to a new bank. So what I want to do is understand that they have all these plans over here. So I want to check out the information of what they're having in terms of online merchant plan or whatever, and I see that no matter what, that I see that they may start with $30 a month or something like that. And I can focus upon understanding that anything that's a zero plan today, or there's something happening over there because I have to find the information. So there's an essential light one where people can tap and tap off with an interest rate. I love it. Unfortunately now over here it's a fixed price or pay 1.8% per transaction on love it. Unfortunately either way, that's a nice and beautiful plan because everything is affordable for myself. So as I understand that no matter what, that since I'm actually learning about what's happening, I'm making sure to see the best kind of fat flea in terms of what's going on. So I'm understanding that if I want to go and do something, I understand this one here is a $30 per month plan, where it's actually just $30 per month. So it's just that kind of card transaction. So I'm ready to give them anyway $30 a month. I can give them $30 a month to have an EFTPOS machine with me all my life. I have no problems with that. I can give them this money, and I have no problems here. But making sure anyway I'm growing my communicational style, and I understand that no matter what, that I realize just quickly on to just have this EFTPOS machine all my life is what I need to do, and I just calculate all that numbers as well. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that I just want to really see exactly what's happening. So when I really understand this is nice and beautiful for me to just keep going. So I'm actually learning how to focus on myself in terms of forecasting myself in nice and beautiful ways, and then I'm just learning very quickly how to go and do great. So what I need to do is I can give the money of the transactions or whatever, or give them a one-time fat fee or whatever in terms of flat fee or whatever that they want, and I'm making sure anyway that I realize straight away that they use up 1.8% of merchant service fee transactions per transaction, and they get 1.8% of every single transaction, or they go and you give them $24 a month. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, guess what? If you give them 1.8% per transaction, it's more enough for you to get that nice and beautiful EFTPOS machine, and you just give them 1.8% of the transaction fee. And no matter what, that if I do that one, it's much better for me to do that because that way I deserve much greater anyway, and I focus upon understanding that it's much more for me anyway. So what I do is you can rent it up to 6 months, and it's usually $24 per month per machine. So I can afford that one. So what I want to do is I want to give them the nice and beautiful way of life over here, where I can go and give them what I understand that Jesus Christ goes and gives them the actual 1.8% over here is much better. But you give them per transaction is much better. And why is that? Because that way it's a 1.8% thing, and just give it to them because you have already much more than enough. So that's why you'll always understand that you can look at Jesus Christ's information about how he makes money as well. And that way you can understand that you always have all the information of the process of what you need to do. So as you go and really understand that no matter what, that Jesus Christ understands that you need, Jesus Christ understands you need to make money to live in this kind of world as well. So no matter what, that God's never judging you for that. But make sure that no matter what, that you really understand how you actually want to set up an account. So what you do is, if you go and really test yourself in your recovery and what you want, then just make sure that you come into the equation of life over here to just study all the information of what you need to do to cover the nice and beautiful interest rates and everything that you are doing in terms of whatever your life is in terms of life, because nothing costs money, but everything is much more than costs. I mean, in a sense, so that way you're learning. You're learning what you need to do, and just never damage your EFTPOS machine, because otherwise it's a $500 gift voucher where you have to give them $500 for that. And then either way, you're just making sure that you're understanding that they put you on a plan. They put you on a plan for this, but I'm understanding $30 a month can do for me. And I'm not saying that no matter what, that is just the kind of plan I need. But there's also a zero fee plan, but I want to see that one there. I'm not saying that what I do also is, if you want to upgrade your EFTPOS machine, and there's something else that's happening with the upgrade over here. So that's something different, where they can stuff you up over here. They can stuff you up over here. But guess what happens? Or else that's how it is. Just give more money anyway. Give more money. So $30 is always the better way now, for now. And then I go and upgrade. I upgrade anyway. I upgrade to some other kind of plan. And then what happens is, they catch you on a plan. And they catch you on a plan doing it. And guess what happens now? Now you give more money to make more money and just keep rolling with it. All the way. In a sense, so what you do is realize that's the best way. That's the way, that's the best way to make money. Is give more money then. Give more money to make more money. That's how you make more money, and that's how. So what I do now is I'm learning very quickly upon what they're doing, and I understand straight away how to go and do what I need to do. So if I do anything about life over here, I'm making sure that I just keep going and giving them more money, and everything's nice and sweet. I make sure that no matter what, that as I learn what's happening around here, I'm making sure that I'm just learning very quickly upon what they are giving me in terms of whatever it is. So as I actually learn from the bank in terms of what they're actually doing in terms of what they're doing over here, and I make sure that no matter what, that I focus upon understanding that no matter what, that it's just how I feel. So I feel that no matter what, that I need to go and sell this once and for all in a better way. Or else now the zero terminal rental free is available to eligible customers who apply for an open new merchant terminal between 29th of March to 30th of June. So alright, now either way, unfortunately this is somewhere that I can be eligible now for this one. And it's a business transaction account on eligible pricing plans. Alright, now this is one, unfortunately this one is much more for me over here, because this is something that they're actually offering over here. Alright, now because I understand that no matter what, for the first 6 months, I understand that I can have my fee in a way that I'm doing much better. I have no fees other than I only. I just have my word I. But anyway, what's amazing about life is I have an offer over here to be able to go and just do greater, because it's a much better deal. I understand that if you can go and do greater, and you can focus upon the ranging of prices and what's happening. So they're focusing on making sure that today I have to go to the nice and beautiful mountains over there at 3 o'clock. So I'm understanding that what I need to do is I can go and Uber. I can go and catch my Uber to the place, and that's it. I never rely on anybody. So I make sure anyway that what I do now is I just focus on helping myself to register what I need to do, so I can focus on helping myself succeed. And I have to succeed, and I have to record my event as well. And now that's all different, but I'm organizing this very quickly upon making sure that I'm becoming much more about what I need to do, and that way I'm understanding straight away upon how I succeed. So as I succeed, I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm learning about how people are using their nice and beautiful plans. So anyway, I realized that the new PayPass for me is the Commonwealth bank account kind of way transaction with the EFTPOS machine now. And that's it, probably that's the newest way for me. But otherwise it's just Commonwealth bank transfer, pay someone or something, and it arrives into the account after 24 hours or something. So anyway, it arrives right away after the registration, and it's much more, no matter what, that you focus upon going with the EFTPOS machine, and we're increasing that money over here. We're increasing the actual giving of the money to be able to process our nice and beautiful team of applications over here to approve everything, so everything authorizes itself in a way that we're learning to process everything in interest rates and making sure that no matter what, that we're learning always upon what's happening. So as I actually go and fall forward, I'm making sure that we have to learn how to go and just understand straight away that if you do something, then just make sure that you go into the bank to get your EFTPOS machine, because it's much more eligible that they see you have a business account and that you have also a registration business ABN number, and that way you can get your EFTPOS machine because you have an ABN number, which is Australian business number, and you have a tax file number also, and you also have a business account number, and now you can get your EFTPOS machine. And then guess what? Actually, now you're ready to have door sales at least. So what you do for your events is have door sales and ticket tech online events as well. Have both. Have both, and then also hire people. And there is also somewhere you can hire people online somewhere to come to the events to do it for you. And that's it. Now I have to go through that process regardless. So I'm just learning that quickly. So I'm understanding that no matter what, I have some information there. But I want to go through this information over here with credit cards, with the banks. And I just want to read over it. I want to read over everything that you guys have over here. So I'm understanding that as I go and really dwell upon just really reading something, then I'm reading to make sure that I'm giving you the contents of what I'm reading. So as I actually go and really just scan everything fast and nicely, so I can really scan the nice and beautiful way of life to see exactly what's happening around here, so I can see straight away what I need to do. So as I really help myself to access information, I give you the information of what I'm doing. Now I understand that no matter what, that people have this nice and beautiful microchip into the nice and beautiful phone of your nice and beautiful card, and that's the microchip that happens so that people can never find your information. And anyway, it's much more how they're trying to conceal information over here. To understand that is what it is. So I understand that since they're doing that microchip to conceal your privacy and information, whereas now guess what, it's more how over here they're saying that you have to keep your privacy over here. So make sure you understand that yes, you have to keep your privacy. So make sure you understand that no matter what, that if you are doing something today to help yourself succeed, then you're making sure that you're reading something about what people have on their nice and beautiful cards and whatever's happening in terms of life, and you're just making sure that you're learning. You're learning very quickly, and I understand Bonnering over there, or should they have door sales as well, and they have a nice and beautiful way of either cash in hand, or they have a nice and beautiful way to say EFTPOS machine, and they have both over here, and people can start to choose over here what to do. I'm understanding that no matter what, as I realize that is how, I'm actually understanding that no matter what, that I just focus upon doing anything that's actually lifting myself only to go and really lift my life. And as I lift my life, I'm protecting myself in a way that I'm learning very quickly upon what's happening around the world, and how I'm actually notifying myself in a better way to go and explain my nice and beautiful consumptual way of life that's actually helping me only. And then I focus upon understanding that if you want to go and prevent anything of life, then use any words that you want in your vocabulary to just go and talk it better. And that's how you use those words. That's it. Use any word that you want to talk it better. And then all you do is you're just learning very quickly upon what they're actually saying in terms of life, and you're just scanning the information quickly. And you're just going over the information always. While you're actually doing audio programming is the best way. And that's how you actually learn very quickly upon how to actually get smarter and smarter. And all you have to understand straight away is how to do that. So no matter what, I feel that other people already feel that I've already done that, because I'm doing it now anyway. I'm making sure that no matter what, that I see people have all these kind of awards going on. So I'm understanding that what you want to do is you can always find a nice and beautiful way of different coloring of Commonwealth Bank cards over here. I understand that no matter what, that it's much more how I feel. So how I feel is they have different reward systems with credit cards, and the more money you give, the more bonus points you get, and that's how it is. Whereas now what I need to do is I focus upon understanding that straight away. I can see that I can open up a credit card, I can open a Neo card over here, but making sure that no matter what, that it's something that I can use. And this Neo card, I can actually use it to make events, and just to make an event. I can use a credit card to make an event. I mean, why not? I can open up a credit card to make one event for myself, and that way I understand straight away that it's a successful event right away, and that's something I can do right away. So it's something that really helps me move forward. And now what I need to do also is make sure that I understand that anyway I can use it. I can make sure that no matter what, it's more how I feel. That if you guys want to make money, then you have to understand how the banks are working with their money and what they're doing with the banks. Unfortunately, it's much more how you have to find yourself doing a greater job for yourself in a way that you're learning very fast and effectively upon what you need to do business. And then you have to be very fast on your toes for everything in terms of what you're doing. So make sure you understand that for the first year with the credit cards there is no annual fee, and I understand that's with the Neo card. I'm making sure that no matter what, it's all the actual credit cards anyway, and making sure that no matter what, that actually I learn very quickly upon doing something to persuade myself to do greater than that. I'm making sure that's the way it is. I'm making sure that as I grow over here, I'm looking to just see exactly, to give you information about what's happening around the world. And you can see always that Maya and Flight Center is with banks as well. I'm making sure that you understand that no matter what, as I grow different amounts of information, I'm looking for nice and beautiful everything. And you can always link travel insurance with the banks as well. And anyway, you must understand that if you're doing anything around life, then you must understand that banks have nothing to do with tax file numbers, but they have everything to do with tax file numbers. I mean, they have everything to do with the actual tax system. Even though they say they have nothing to do with it, actually they have everything to do with tax. I mean, you must understand. So the banks always have everything to do with tax, but just other agencies are doing tax. But it's all the banks. And the banks never want to tell you who they own in life. I mean, so make sure you understand that you have to be ahead of the nice and beautiful way of life. And I understand that I never have expenses. I understand that I realize no matter what, that it's much more how I feel. That I have everything in one anyway in terms of my eye. And that way I'm learning very quickly upon being careful upon how people are speaking their languages over here, because what's important for myself over here is to never limit myself. I'm never limiting myself in what's happening around the world. I'm making sure I'm talking over everything very quickly and making sure that I'm learning very quickly upon what's happening. So you can always set alerts and reminders with yourself at the bank in terms of EFTPOS machines and credit cards and all these MasterCards and systems they have. So you can do that with your phone, and that way you understand straight away to manage yourself this way in a better way, and you can protect your data and accounting softwares, and you can make sure that no matter what, that you never have your expenses but you have investments only, to make sure that no matter what, that as you go and dwell upon everything, then just read everything about terms and conditions and everything about what you need. And what you need to do is make sure that you are doing greater upon life. So if you want to save on interest, then make sure you understand that you always have to save on interest in a better way, and make sure that no matter what, that you're learning very quickly upon what you can do with different cards over here, and just make sure that any card can be useful for you if you understand how to make money with it. So that's how you actually understand straight away what you can do with every single card over here, and you're just focusing on delivering. I mean, you're delivering contents, and you're making sure that no matter what, if you go and really deliver everything of your nice and beautiful nature, then you understand that no matter what, that you can focus upon just really quickly understanding that no matter what, that you're learning. Whereas now, as you're learning, you're just making sure that no matter what, that you have to go and grow with your contents. And I understand at 3 o'clock today and before 3 p.m. today, I have to go to the actual Mounties ads around 2, let's say 2 o'clock. I realize now 2 o'clock, I realize now it's much more how it is, isn't it? Russia, I have to go there at 2 o'clock. I realize 1 hour before, it's much better. And I always arrive 1 hour before minimum, before anything, in terms of any kind of a meetup or anything. So I make sure anyway that I'm just learning very quickly upon what I need to do. I'm making sure I can go and grow myself. And I'm Australian resident as well and citizen as well. I'm understanding that no matter what, that everything's happening really fast over here while I'm teaching you. And all I have to do is teach you all the information of it. And that's the way I move forward. But now all I'm actually doing is studying upon everything in terms of life, and I understand no matter what, I have to see what ACN is. I understand I have to see every single time about what's happening around the banks and what's happening in terms of all of it. So I'm making sure that no matter what, that as I understand that no matter what, that the banks always need the 2 most recent pay slips, or less than 90 days old as well, in terms of pay slips, to be able to give you credit cards. So just have that kind of thing in mind. And also they need to see your tax returns for the past 12 months to be able to get your credit card. So make sure you understand either way that it's just your 1 year business and transaction account that they need in terms of that financial information to be able to get your credit card. So you need to be able to have a business transaction account for 1 year to be able to get a credit card, and the credit card has to be a plus score, and that's it. Actually, then they give you a nice and beautiful remedy to make sure that you have more money. So make sure you understand that they want to see 1 year of recollection of you having a business transaction account to be able to get your credit card, and also that you understand that, and also they want you to be able to go and have a plus on score in terms of, I mean, they want you to have a plus score with what you're doing so they can see your money, and that's it. Firstly, now 9 to 5 job, I personally never care about the 9 to 5 job. Firstly, I just care about you having a 1 year business account number with a nice and beautiful record of a plus score and the business account number, and as long as you're self-employment as well, an employee, and you're also an investor and business account individual, then you can go and grow yourself in your business, and that's it. I mean, the guys understand, so making sure that you have an ABN number as well. I mean, you need your ABN number also to be able to get a credit card, and you need a business account number as well to be able to get a business transaction account, which is a business account number, or to get your actual credit card and to get any kind of personal loans or any kind of business loans. Then you have to understand that's the nice and beautiful way to say that you have to have 1 year of a business account, and also with a plus score to get any kind of personal loan or loans out there, or any kind of credit cards and interest rates, or any kind of mortgage rates that you need. So make sure make sure you understand that you never need mortgage rates. You just need your rate. You understand? I mean, never go with mortgage rates because they screw you over with mortgage rates. So what I do now is I'm understanding that what I do is I read more information about everything, and I'm making sure always to just deliver the content that I need. So as I deliver content, I'm focusing on just delivering that nice and beautiful way. So I realize that the iOS is over 12.0 now in terms of its software, and the nice and beautiful Android operating systems is over 5.0 plus now. I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm updating myself with different ways, and you can also give people money by sending a number to their bank account and everything in terms of numbers and with your phones, and people are doing that kind of transaction today as well. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that I can see straight away how to actually go and do greater. So as I do greater is you can also go and give people money by BSB and account number in your bank account today, and that way you're learning much quicker about everything in terms of life. So if you have to phone the bank, I promise you now the best thing to do with the phone is make sure you're going in person over the phone. I mean, never ever call people by phone. I mean, go see them face to face because you have a better experience, and that's why. And that way you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do. I'm understanding that other people are watching what I'm doing. I'm making sure anyway that as I grow, I see the nice and beautiful hot flavor in the air with me over here, because I understand that they can see that I'm much more of a business-like nature over here, where I'm understanding that no matter what, they can see that somebody out there is actually growing, and they can see that I'm actually never losing anything, but you never spend anything. You just make sure that you are growing a nice and beautiful location of whatever you're doing, and that way I'm actually growing myself. I'm growing in a way that I'm understanding that my nice and beautiful life is getting ahead of me in a way that I'm learning very quickly upon what I need to do, and I can see how people are writing this information on boards in a way that they're learning to just give you the information of what they're earning. And now what they're actually giving over here is some tactic to be able to get your money in a way that they're showing you that you have to spend money, for example, but you never spend money, man. I mean, they're always saying to spend money. I mean, that's understand. So what they want, I never hate you, I love everything, but make sure you understand that what's important is understanding that they are trying to close you off on a deal over here, and they're trying to charge you something, and they're trying to tell you, hey, I mean, if you go here, then this is what you have to do. They're just showing you the transaction information of what they want you to do, because it works out for them. I mean, it works out for them to be able to give you more information about what the banks do, so that you can also understand that they want to make you a slave. So never make yourself a slave, but make yourself something greater, and use everything to your advantage, and make sure that you're using the money where your mouth is, and then you understand that no matter what, you're looking for the process of whatever it is, and you're looking at the words that they're using, and you can see that straight away they're more into the money over here, and they never care about you, really. I mean, in a sense, but they do care about you to give you information. I mean, in a sense, so you must understand that what you need to do is they're never trying to kill you. But understand that what's important is understand that now, since I'm understanding that what you need to do is always deliver that content in different formats, and you're actually just learning about the setup period of everything, and you're actually looking for the nice and beautiful way of comprehending whatever's going on around the world, so you can understand that every single time. I'm understanding to never have liabilities and never have yourself liabilities, because anything that's a liability is losing money. So never lose money, but have assets which make you money. And the best asset that you can give is your words. Brosh, that's it, Brosh. If you can lift your words, then you can also lift you can lift the world. You can lift everything. Words is what lifts life. So those people who can lift life can also do everything they want. So just be able to go and really understand that there are business credit cards you can get at the banks as well. There's all types of business cards for whatever you want. Any type of business card you want, unfortunately the banks have it. Any kind of card you want out there with any kind of name, unfortunately the banks have it. The banks have any kind of card number or whatever you want. They have the numbers. They have those numbers. So make sure you understand that what you need to do is use their numbers to your advantage. How you do that? Make sure you're speaking more words. And speak more words than them, and that's it. Should get ahead of the crowd. You must understand. So what the banks do is they charge you so much. They're trying to charge you so much to pin you down so that you are losing, but never be losing. So make sure you're never losing, but make sure you understand that the banks also want you to win as well, because they are trying to give you to lend you money. So it's all on you. So the banks want you to lose, and the banks never want you to lose. And that's how it is with everybody. I want you to win only. I never want you to lose. But everybody else wants you to win and lose. So make sure you understand that. So the whole thing about this over here is that you just read over what they're doing in terms of the trademark of the industry, and you're just making sure that you're learning about credit cards and what's happening. So I did get some information from that. So making sure I'm learning about business loans and finance over here. So when you understand that no matter what, that as I'm moving forward, I understand that you have to go and really dwell upon what you need. So as you dwell upon what you need every single day, I focus on understanding that other people are very, let's say, into me over here, because they feel I'm doing something for myself to help myself grow over here. So I'm not saying that I'm very much professional. I look very professional with what I'm doing over here, because that's the kind of nice and beautiful vibe that I have, where I may be helping myself, I'm helping people in some kind of regard. So they can see that, and I look very sexy doing it. So I move on, because it's the kind of aspect of life that they want to do that too. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is I enjoy myself. So as I'm understanding that no matter what, I can feel that I'm always learning very quickly upon what's happening with my nice and beautiful money and everything. Making sure that you never ever go for 30-year loans, please. Never go for any loan that is over 1 year, please. Understand? Please. Make sure you understand that you only ever go for a loan that's 1 month in recapitalization with the banks. 1 month loan is the best kind of loan that you can get with the bank. Understand that within 1 month you have to return the money. Do you understand? Return the money within 1 month. That's it. If you can stick to that equation, that's the best kind of loan you can get with the banks today. Is get a loan from the banks that you can return the money within 1 month, and that's it. You understand? Because every single time they'll give you the money. They'll give you always the money if you can return the money within 1 month. Understand? So stick to that equation, guys. And that way you understand that if you can, return the money within 1 week. Get a 1 week loan. Get a 1 week loan, and return the money on the 1 week, in terms of within 1 week. And that's even better equation. But what's even better than that is get the money on the day and return the money on the day. Understand? Use the money that they have and get the loans that they can give you to return the money on the day. How can you make that money possible? And that's the whole truth about loans with the banks. Is the best way to make loans with the banks is borrow all the money from the bank, but return it on the day. Understand? Within the 1 day that you borrow the money from the bank is when you return it. That's it. So that's how fast you need to return money to the bank. Otherwise, they charge you very quickly. Alright, now what you need to do always is focus on understanding that now, since I'm understanding that no matter what, that I have a greater interest return over here with what I'm doing. And I'm making sure I'm getting smarter, and I'm never sorry for that. I'm making sure that other people are losing in a way that I'm never making sure that they're losing. I'm making sure that they're winning. But the thing is that they are making sure that they are losing. So I never care about them. I make sure that I love everything. I make sure everybody's winning. I'm just like that. I'm just making sure that no matter what, I'm learning how to go and summon up this nice and beautiful information process over here. So what I need to do is understand that people can see that I'm doing much greater, and they can see that I have so much information to give over here, because anyway, I'm realizing that I have so much potential over here, and it's just how much more I can give over here, and that's all I do. So I actually find out that people are understanding how to study that, and they're actually wanting to study that kind of attractive factor about me, about how I live my life. So as I live my life very quickly, I make sure to just study upon exactly how they talk about everything. And as I go and talk about everything, I realize Robert Kiyosaki is somebody who really did help me with finance, in terms of financial knowledge. And he gives me all this financial knowledge, and so did Grant Cardone. I love him. But for these two people, I was learning a lot about finance. And since I'm actually always studying now, I'm studying how to actually recall my nice and beautiful partnerships with people and registration companies, is making sure that you can have partnerships with anybody and trust with anybody in terms of registration companies and everything. So making sure that no matter what, you're just learning the art of making sure that you're learning quickly. So if you want to learn quickly about life, then you want to understand every single time that you're making sure that your life is quickly available for you to succeed, and that way you're learning. You have to be learning something. So as you learn something, just succeed quickly. And understand that when they make pamphlets, they make this kind of book, I realize they make 4 pages. 4 pages of pamphlets is very important for myself as well, to be able to give something like this. And now that's a much more professional business card, where I can print these pamphlets and give these pamphlets to people about me. I can give them information about me in these pamphlets, and I can give them out for free. I realize I give them out for free, and guess what? I realize they can see exactly what I'm offering in all these nice and beautiful propositions of my nice and beautiful way over here. And I can understand that no matter what, it makes me look very professional. But do I need it? I probably should. Guess what? I already have it. I realize I have all that as my Instagram. I have all that in my Mega Drive and everything online. So I'm not saying I let it be that way. Alright, now what I need to do is I move on, and I make sure that everything in terms of life is happening for me. So when I'm really learning about what's happening around the world, I'm not saying that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly upon what I can do to succeed over here. I'm actually just learning very quickly upon the information of everything. So I'm looking to see always how to actually just enjoy myself. So people overdrive for a property, which means they're always gaining money from the property, which is excellent. So making sure that no matter what, that as I understand, if you want a lower rate, then go for higher rates. You can go for higher rates, please, because that way the higher the rate, the better for you. You understand? The more money you can get with a higher rate, but lower rates give you lower money. You understand? So go for higher rates, please. The higher rate interest is something that you have to understand. If you go for a higher rate interest, guess what? Then you give more money, and it works out for you. In a sense, so you slam dunk it, and now you can use higher rate interest and also low rate interest to give more money in return. And anyway, you're just prospering, and that's the whole bank. I'm learning very quickly upon understanding that no matter what, I'm learning how to give them money quickly within 1 day. And that's it. Now, as I actually borrow more money now, I'm not saying that no matter what, that it's much more how I understand straight away how to understand the plans and rates over here, which is give more money in return, and that's it. Give more money, and that way you prosper and you succeed quickly, and that's it. I promise you, every single plan on the planet you can give to have a plan with something, and you can give more money in return, and I promise you it works out for you. I'm saying, so never be afraid of anything, and that way you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do. So as I'm studying now the nice and beautiful trades, which is the sole traders and partnerships and trusts and limiting or limited or proprietary limited companies. So make sure you understand that no matter what, that you're never limiting yourself about anything. But I realize there is proprietary companies and people who are limiting, or some kind of nice and beautiful transaction going around sole traders and partnerships and trust companies, where you can focus upon giving people information, is what it's all about. So focus on loving life and understand no matter what, that I've already done the explaining, or making sure that no matter what, that if you're learning very quickly upon what you're doing, then you're understanding straight away how you can just go and understand that Commonwealth banks have this nice and beautiful Biz Express over here, where you understand that it's a condition approval kind of thing, where they're actually giving you fast access to funds and less paperwork, and also they're giving you securing and unsecuring options available as well, where they're also giving you the non-establishment fee. So as I realize, as I actually go throughout the information, I'm always understanding that what I need to do is understand that the banks always want the money within 5 business days, but I give them within 1 business day, and that way I'm always ahead of the company. I'm always understanding that no matter what, that I understand straight away that if you're working with numbers with the bank or anything, then it's number 1. I mean, number 1 is the best number, but everything is the word I. I mean, or else 1 is number I. In a sense, so I'm always understanding that as I go and grow myself, I understand the banks can lend you up to $250,000 or up to $1 million, or they can lend, or they can give you the money, and you're making sure that no matter what, that if you understand that the unsecuring option over here is with the Biz Express, they can give you up to $1 million in deals. So I'm understanding I'm very safe over here. So I'm understanding that no matter what, it's more they're giving it for residential and commercial property over here, and understand that they can also give it to me on the other side in terms of something else. So it's more for real estate, where they're giving this money for real estate, but I can use that money to make events and business events. I mean, I can use their money to make business events, guys. I realize now, is that the case? But actually, it's much better how I feel that if I borrow that money, I realize if I borrow that amount of money, I realize it's much more how I feel that I have to return it anyway. I have to return that money anyway. So what you borrow from the bank is what you return. Actually, that's it. I mean, the bank never gives you $1 million and then they go 500 minus $1 million. You know what I'm saying? When they never go minus. Whereas when they give you the money, or else they make money when they give you money. I love it. I mean, so what I realize over here is if you want to use the bank's money and say it's for real estate, but then use it for business, actually it's a tactic, but guess what happens? Or else it can come back to hurt you. And it can come back to hurt you. I mean, so the more money you borrow, the more risky it is. So what you want to do with any type of loans when you're using these $50 million loans, I mean, guess what? If it's over a $1 million loan, use it for real estate. I mean, use it for real estate specifically. I understand, because real estate can give you back the money. But business is something different, where real estate is working much more for you in terms of money than business. And why is that? Because real estate is an asset that's actually giving you money always. But business is something that you have to create the money. And you have to create these events. And the business money only works when you work. In terms of when you work, in terms of business money only comes in when you're making events. But when you're never making events around business, then there's no money. That's how business is. But real estate, as soon as you have a real estate business, the real estate business is always giving you money. That's the difference between real estate business and a business. I realize although a business is much better than a real estate business, because real estate has its own business, and real estate is something different around getting people to go into the tenants, and in terms of going into the apartments, and you're getting people into the apartments, and you're looking for locations over here to make more money and make more money and make more money. And real estate is just a money business, man. I mean, it's all about money there. Understand? But I mean, real estate has nothing to do with your personal development and health. Understand? But business has everything to do with personal development and health. And that's why business is much better than real estate business. But if you want to ask for money, I mean, if you want money, Roshi, the best kind of money is personal health and business. Roshi, that's the best money. Roshi, alone. Roshi, although real estate gives you the financial plastic money. Roshi, the best way to make financial plastic money today, Roshi, it's through personal development and health. Always. So, I mean, every single time that real estate business is something that is an asset in a way of what? Or else real estate is something that can waste your time. But no, or else it will never waste your time. Or else it does give you financial plastic money. But the better way is business. I mean, stick to the business. I mean, stick to making events is much better than real estate. Because real estate is more security and insurance behind your business. I mean, your business is straight up what makes the real estate work. I mean, without your business, then there is no real estate. So the backbone of your business is real estate. Understand? And that's why I'm saying that you build a business first and then you build a real estate program. I mean, if people are going and building real estate programs and then a business, then they're losing. They need a business first and then a real estate program. But how do you make a business and real estate program work? Or you need the information about it. Or else you need more information about it, and you need to study, and then give the information as fast as possible, and then charge people for that information. That's it. Actually, now when you charge people for that information, eventually you start really understanding how to borrow money and everything. Now you have yourself a business and real estate because you're able to give that information. Whereas it's more of a giving information business than it is a taking information business. In a sense, so I'm learning quickly upon aspects of life over here in terms of what they're talking about. So I'm learning actually how to teach you real estate along the way. So I'm understanding that as I go and do something, I realize that with commercial property over here and residential properties, I've realized now it's much more how you have to understand that if you're doing commercial properties, first, your commercial properties are just like average homes around town. And you have to understand that, no, I mean, never ever get those houses. I mean, never get those houses because you never need to. I mean, skip the commercial properties and never do commercial properties all the way. I mean, if you're doing commercial properties, then you may be losing, and make sure you understand that anybody who does commercial properties is losing because commercial properties is anything under 8 units. And that's why they're giving $1 million for that. And they're screwing people over here. And it's never that they're screwing people over, but they're giving money to help themselves here. But the people are screwing themselves over here. But I'm never screwing myself over. But anything that's a residential property, of course, that's also under 8 units. So that's what Grant Cardone says. I realize he says never do anything under 8 units because it never works out for you. I'm pretty sure that if you get 1 unit, that is 1% rule, I'm pretty sure it works out for you. But it works out always in the 1% rule. I mean, I realize that rarely do you find anything around 1% rule in a residential and commercial. I realize rarely do you find anything as a 1% rule in commercial property and residential rules in terms of houses in residential areas and commercial properties. I mean, rarely do you understand anything about life when you're always teaching, but you have to be teaching to understand life. And no, I mean, guess what? Roshi, you must understand that to be rare is the best communication. So what do I say? Roshi, it's much more, and you have to understand straight away that yes, it's much more how it is. Roshi, now, if you understand that no matter what, you never get yourself anything 8 units and under in terms of real estate, always. I mean, stick to the basis of what Grant Cardone says. And then he says never get anything under 32 units. I mean, in a sense, so make sure you use a business all the way to 32 units. Roshi, that's all he's saying. Roshi, if you can do that, then you can do anything. Roshi, and that's how you actually accumulate all that money. And he says accumulate the money of business and just keep doing business and hold $5 million in your account and just keep doing business and business. I mean, if you have $5 million in your account, I mean, why do you need real estate? I mean, why do you need real estate when you have $5 million in your account? I mean, you understand? I mean, what does he do? I mean, what does Grant Cardone do with that money? Well, he builds that money, that's $5 million for business to make it $15 million. I mean, do you need real estate when you have $15 million in your bank account, man? Roshi, no. Roshi, you never need real estate when you have $15 in terms of $15 million in your bank account. Roshi just says build up that money until you have. Roshi says build up that money until it's 32 units. I mean, use that money in your bank account to make 32 units. Roshi, that's it. Roshi, if you make that $5 million bucks, then you can get yourself 32 units somewhere. Roshi, with $5 million, you can make a $20 million property deal. And then guess what happens after 10 years? After 10 years, you make $20 million with one deal. I mean, one deal, you make $20 million with 32 units and more. I mean, so that's why he's saying you make sure you go that way, because that way you understand straight away what to do. And then from that point, you're just richer and richer, and your real estate's working for you, and you're making $20, or else you're making you're making $2 million per year with just real estate. You understand? And over time, you're making $20 million every single 10 years. So I can make $140 million with just one deal of real estate, man. You understand? Approach is that simple. I can make that money because I can see how to do that. I can understand how to equate that. But then over time, I realize real estate loses value. I realize real estate loses value. I mean, why is that? Because you're getting older. And now, nobody's getting older, but you may be someone who's getting older. I'm getting younger. But as you increase your age more and more, then real estate loses value more and more for you. And real estate is a business that can secure you to a certain point. And what kind of point is it? I mean, how much do you want to make on real estate alone? I mean, how much is that number? I mean, the number is making sure that if you want to have a jet, for example, that may be, let's say, $8 million a year, then all you do is get real estate to that point. Or else what do you do from that point? I mean, then transfer that money into your business only. Or now you have everything. Do you understand that? Or that's the difference. Or now you can have a jet for the rest of your life and also do your business, and that's it. But now you secure yourself like this forever, and you have whatever you want. And if you want to get an extra helicopter, or if you want to get a helicopter as well, then go ahead and go get a helicopter as well, and go get all these people to hire your company or whatever, and build your business. I mean, if you want people to work for you, approach that's different. Approach it's more how you want. I mean, what do you want? Do you want an empire? But make sure you understand anyway that I can see straight away what real estate is. I realize to a certain extent, I realize I never want to be in real estate to a certain extent. You understand? I want to be in real estate to the point where I'm making, let's say, $2 million per year on real estate, and it's more enough for me. I mean, why $2 million per year? Rush now, guess what, Brush, is just a goal for the moment. But that's a goal for the moment. Brush, then it may change to $8 million per year. And then that's enough for me, because to get just a jet for myself. And that's it, and a helicopter here and there. Brush, what am I going to do with that? I mean, to maintain it, I say, wow. I mean, just to maintain it, I realize, anyway, you must understand that no matter what, that you have to realize it's just that kind of world, isn't it? I mean, you must understand that. Is it worth it to get a jet and a helicopter? I'm pretty sure it's worth it. Pretty sure it can help you to get around places, or else it can help you to just bypass the security guards over there in terms of the people and economy and flights. All I mean, you can bypass the economy and all that, and you can bypass their planes. Or else you can go in your own plane, anywhere you want. That's a rich lifestyle, but you have to understand that you can get there if you talk your way there. Pretty sure it's so easy to get there. I love it. Now, since I understand I can get there, whereas I have no worries, but the thing is about anything that you want is after a certain period of time, or else cut off the real estate. I mean, forget about it. I mean, forget the real estate at a certain point, I promise you. But you should never ever go chasing real estate for no reason, man. You understand? I mean, some people are chasing that real estate money, like, for fuck's sake. I mean, or else they're wasting so much time. I'm saying Grant Cardone goes and uses his jet to go and grab real estate around the world. I mean, what for, man? I mean, guess what? I mean, you have to. But to a certain extent, I realize, what are his goals? I mean, he says his goals are to accumulate more money with real estate. I mean, guess what? I mean, yeah, your goals has to be to accumulate more money with real estate. But how much money how much money is your goal? I mean, how much money? I mean, understand? I'm pretty sure there's a goal that he wants to hit. But what's that money number is something that he's never showing right here. You understand? So yes, you want to accumulate more money with real estate, of course. I understand, but how much money? I mean, do you want $1 trillion with real estate, or you want $50 trillion? I mean, how much money? I mean, that's the thing, yeah? So Grant Cardone never states that number, but he just says get more real estate. I mean, get more real estate, yeah? I mean, if you're getting more real estate, I mean, why do you need so much real estate for? Why do you need so much real estate? I mean, how much real estate do you want? I mean, get more real estate. I mean, that's for people who are yet to get real estate. I mean, that's only for people who are yet to get real estate. But how much real estate do you want once you have real estate? I mean, to get more real estate once you have real estate, or now you need a number. I mean, you need a number here. I mean, that's why I'm saying that it can get confusing with the information. But guess what? I promise you, it's much more simplify everything and do greater. And now I'm understanding that no matter what, I can go and do greater with my music over here as well. I'm understanding I have to go very soon to see what's happening around here. I'm understanding I still have my biological dad's car over here. I'm understanding that what I want to do is I want to go and see exactly what's happening. So I record my conversations and I see exactly what I need to do now. So I'm actually always just explaining now with my real estate business. Or actually, no matter what, I realize $8 million per year of real estate is more enough for me. And I just make a 10 million goal. I mean, I make the $10 million on real estate per year. I mean, I love it. That's the goal, and I'm never fucking going over that number in real estate. I mean, understand? I mean, $10 million per year is fucking more enough for me, man. Whew. I mean, understand? I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, every single day, I just want to understand something now. That's a number I achieve, and fucking I stay at that number, and I never fucking go more than that in terms of real estate. I mean, understand? And what I do now is I try to achieve that number earlier in a way that I look at what kind of real estate can make me $10 million now per year. I look at that number. I look at that one sequel, and I'll go for the real estate that can make me $10. Or I'll go for real estate right now that can make me $10 million per year. That's the number. That's the actual real estate I need now. I mean, what real estate now can make me $10 million per year? It's one of those towers. One of the towers. Or I should have to own one of the towers, and that's it. I mean, where can I get that tower, Roshi? That's it, Roshi. Just one fucking real estate that can make me $10 million per year. And how much money do I give? Roshi, now I can already see the number. Whereas now, how much is that number? I have to give 25% of that number. Roshi, that's it, Roshi. I see that number already. Whereas 25% of that number, whereas if the house is, let's say, 100 million, whereas if that real estate is 100 million, then guess what? I have to give 25 million up front. Or I have no worries. But is it over 100 million? Approximately it can be over 100 million every year. Whereas anyway, I can say it's 25 million at least to get that number. I promise you. I promise you I can see the numbers. So I understand that no matter what, that $25 million makes me, or as $25 million makes me $10 million per year. Because anyway, I want to make sure that you guys are understanding straight away what I'm doing. So I'm drinking some water here to just do better. I'm writing these numbers down to just say I see 25 million makes me $10 million per year. Of course, that's how it is. Whereas now, no matter what, that I can see that happening. Now, no matter what, I realize that my real estate that I feel like making $10 million per year has to be $100 million. I realize that's the occasion, yeah? So I understand that straight away because it's the 1% rule. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that how do I understand this information? Because I learned from Grant Cardone about numbers and real estate and deals upon what's happening. So I realize no matter what, I can see the numbers over here, which is this number over here is 100 million. I see my real estate right now that I'm aiming for is $100 million. So I see my real estate worth is $100 million. Whereas now, anyway, with that number, I can always suss out that the $10 million mark is even better. Whereas the $10 million mark is more enough for me here. Whereas now, is it more enough though? Actually, yes, because I can see the number difference. I can see there's a massive number difference, guys. So understand this, that if I go for $10 million real estate deal, in a way that I make what? Or as if I make $1 million per year in real estate, I mean, is it possible for me to get a jet and a helicopter with $1 million per year? Right now, that's something I have to go and study now. So I want to see how much a jet is per year. And now, yes, I can. I mean, how much jets do I want, man? I mean, guess what? I can rent it here and there. I can rent a jet here and there per use. I don't have to rent it per year. I can rent a jet per use. I mean, is there a possibility for me to rent a helicopter whenever I want it? And is there a possibility to rent a jet whenever I want it? So I'm saying yes, there is. So what I want to do is I want to find out now that my real estate worth in what I'm searching for real estate is only $10 million now. And that's something much better for me. I mean, it's something much better, and I understand that right away. So let it be that way. Actually, now I made money. I just made $90 million. I made $90 million over here. So I just go and grab myself this way. So I made $90 million. I made $90 million on real estate deals right now as I secure a better way. Right now, I just taught you how I've done that because now I no longer need to go for $100 million real estate. I go for $10 million real estate. Now, $10 million real estate is more enough for me, which means $1 million per year is more enough for me to make my transition into real estate deals. And that's very close, enough personal right here. And it's much more achievable and something that I can achieve and something that I just stay close to. It's the best number as well. I'm understanding now, because I understand that, I'm really in regards to a greater number over here. So the 1 is the best measurement of goals that you want in life, and I understand that straight away. So what I do now is I understand that I have a goal to hit $10 million in real estate. Whereas now, because I understand that, whereas now, no matter what, for every $10 million in real estate, I make $1 million per year. I mean, understand? So anyway, I realize that what's important now, with a $10 million real estate, I make from now on, I make already $72 million right now with real estate right now. So how is that possible? Because until I reach 100 years of age is 72 years. So make sure that no matter what, that I make already $72 million in real estate right now. So altogether, I calculate the number altogether as well. So let's have a look over here. 72 million. I make 72 million on real estate deals right now over 72 years until I hit 100 years of age, which is my goal. Alright, now that's the goal over here. So anyway, alright, now that's that. So what else do I need? Alright, now to secure a $10 in terms of to secure a $10 million deal with real estate, I have to give $2.5 million worth of the deal right now. And that's it. I can make $2.5 million to make a $10 million deal with real estate, and that's it. For sure. Is there a real estate somewhere where I can get it for $10 million? And never for $10 million, but is there a real estate deal where I can get to give $2.5 million to gain a $10 million real estate deal to gain $1 million per year on it? I'm pretty sure there is. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around town. I'm pretty sure I can feel it. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in Sydney as well. And I'm understanding that no matter what, that I just go and do this now. So what I do is I can see the number and price over here, and I'm actually achieving my goals over here very quickly. So I'm understanding that no matter what, that since I understand that mansion place, it's much more better to have a woman or man instead of a house and mansion. I realize although the Jesus Christ over here says that he'd rather go with a woman than have a mansion. Whereas now if he has to choose like that, I'm pretty sure he'd rather have a woman, yeah? I mean, whereas if he has to choose between a mansion or a woman, or else he goes with a woman. I mean, so yes, it is. But if he has to go alone, then he'd rather go to the mansion. Or else he'd rather go to the mansion if he has to go alone. I mean, in a sense, so that's the difference. Whereas anyway, whereas I feel that I'm tempting myself to do better here in different ways. So I'm looking for different ways of persuasion over here to make sure I'm looking for a better way. So as I look for a better way, I'm understanding no matter what it's the case. So I give as my first real estate deal. I measure everything in one, guys, so I'm making sure you understand that. Whereas 1 is the goal number, so I just put number 1 over here. I make sure I put number 1 over here. I say number 1. I say my measurement of a number is 1. Alright, now I understand that. And no matter what, now, since I understand that, say $7.5 million comes from the bank. I borrow $7.5 million from the bank. And the bank just gives it to me because I can make this money come true in my life. And it's more enough for me. And that way I'm securing my spot and goals and I'm doing greater. I borrow from the bank. I understand that Grant Cardone has 8,000 units, man. And now what I want to do is understand that no matter what, that I can see what jet and a nice and beautiful helicopter is in life. And guess what? I have more than enough over here. Whereas now it's more enough for me because I can rent jets and I have $1 million and I have a business that's actually giving me money as well on the side. So what I do now with that, or it's better numbers, I have better deals, I have a goal of achieving my net worth, and I have something better now. I have 7x my money in straight away. So I just put the number 7 over here. I 7x my money in real estate right now. And 7x is something much more. So I'm understanding that no matter what, I'm always learning that I can do better. And since I'm actually understanding 7, I'll write the number 7 over here. I 7x my money. Whereas this is all, I say I 7x my money on real estate. Whereas this is all just making sure that you understand that as I grow myself and as I go and do greater, and as I understand to go and really deliver content as much as I can, I'm making sure you guys understand that my goals and personal goals over here are just doing better. And this is just how it is, yeah. I mean, it's all personal goals, but I want to call these people. I want to call them and ask the actual bus quote over here. So I have a bus quote. I have to call them. I have to call these people to ask them a question upon how their actual bank transactions are working over here. So as I grow over here, I'm looking to see exactly the transactions in terms of what they're actually offering over here, so I can do greater. So what I want to do is just be able to go into the bus service over here. I want to call them. I want to call the bus services over here. Say bus advertisements. Say bus advertising Sydney. I want to give them a call. I want to make sure that anyway that as I go and give them, I always go and click on the first one up there because they're the newest one that I can go and deal with them. And I give them a call and I want to see the quotes are. I want to ask them.
Speaking.
I'm just calling about the bus advertisements and I want to understand the quotes.
Sure, how can I help?
I say, so yeah, so I'm just asking for the price of how much the different prices and different premium deals you guys have about bus advertisements in terms of being able to place my nice and beautiful photo and my Instagram and my business account on the actual bus so it can be promoting for about 1 month.
Sure, what's your email address?
I say, so it's my first name, Danny, which is DANN for Nelly and Y for yellow. I have dot Milivojevic, so M for Mary, I for I. I have.
Hang on, so is there a dot between Danny?
I say yes, so Danny dot Milivojevic, so M for Mary. I have I for insect. I have L for Larry. I have I for I. I have V for Victor, and O for Orange, and J for Jakarta, and E for Eddie, and V for Victor, and I for I, and C for Charlie at gmail.com.
Okay, what's the business?
I say the business is Danny Milivojevic, so it's my full name.
Yeah, no, I'll shoot you some rates across now.
I thank you very much. I thank you.
Nice, thanks. Bye.
I say anyway, so you guys can see that no matter what, that I'm serious about my business over here. So he's sending me a quote over here to say this is how much it is, and I gave him a goal. So I said, hey, up to 1 month promotion is more enough for me. And that's it. I just said per month. So if I'm giving advertisements over here, I'm understanding it's a 1 month goal. And that's what I'm saying. I measure everything by 1 month. I understand this is a 1 hour seminar, so I have to upload it online now. I have to upload my content online. I mean, you guys understand? I understand it's a 1 hour program already. So I upload 1 hour program online. I book my information in terms of real estate, which is also 1 in terms of 10 million is 1. And also how much I understand that's where I'm actually going for. So I went for $100 million in real estate and now I'll go for $10 million in real estate because the 1 is there. And this is a 1 hour program. And then I say to the guy, hey, I want to hire the bus advertising for 1 month at a time. I understand. So that's why I'm sticking to the 1 measurement, guys, because that's the most successful number. And that's the best way to have a premium deal on what you want about life. And then I said also in this program that, hey, if you want to do anything about giving back the money in the bank accounts and you want to borrow money to give back the money to the bank, then I said at first, I said, give back to the money. I mean, get yourself 1 month loans where you give back the money within 1 month. Or borrow the money from the banks for 1 week and give back the money within 1 week to the bank. Or borrow the money from the bank on the day, in terms of day 1, and make sure you give back the money on day 1. I mean, you understand? I mean, everything's the measurement of 1 today. I mean, I understand that's how you actually make goals. I mean, because that's what is.